Welcome, welcome, and welcome again. You are seeing this brown, black, beautiful face smiling at you, hoping to send these vibes right through this screen to reach you right where you are. I always love to start the podcast and anything I do with a nice focused breath. And so I'm not going to change that because I don't know what you're dealing with before you come to this podcast. And so this is your opportunity to take some time and just say, and I hope that you took a bath this morning so that whenever you do an inhale, that you can smell something that smells really good, or you got some good food around your house. We're going to do it again. Inhale. And because 3 is just a number in this earth plane that we forget it, just breathe again. Rest in that. Okay, this is episode 23 of the H2O podcast. And as always, I am excited, thrilled. I cannot wait to interview our guest for today. One, because this person I've only recently met. I don't know as much about, and we're going to be learning much about our guest today in a very live kind of way. So that excites me even the more because there's going to be other questions that emerge from our conversation. I'm quite sure of it. Other than that, let me go through these housekeeping things so we can get the conversation started and we'll go on from there. So this podcast mission is to produce content that raises awareness of relevant topics with the intent that healing and optimization is kept at the forefront. My aim is to reduce SAD, which is an acronym for stress, anxiety, and depression, and increase HAPPY, which is another acronym for health, awareness, positivity, potential, and your best life. Join the wave of these healing streams through the H2O podcast. This season, I wanted to focus on providing a means for people to tell their story the way they want to tell it. My role is to create engaging questions and to facilitate dialogue and discussion that enhances the way those stories are being told. My short mission, health educational platform ranging from physical, emotionally, and spiritual topics. So that's what we do here at H2O. And hopefully I've been able to fulfill that throughout this year. So we're going to read the guest bio and then we're going to bring our guest on. The guest, his name is Solomon Ward, but he introduced himself as King Solomon. So every time I talk to him, I always call him King or Coach Solomon, but it's usually King Solomon Ward. Born and raised in Louisiana, home of the King, me is what he says. He's 32 years young and currently a personal trainer and inspiring speaker. And you'll see why. This brother is not only an inspiring speaker, but he has something to share with us. He says his life has been an amazing painting that is still being colored in. Love that. He has a beautiful 7-year-old daughter and is a very proud dad. He says, I'm an ex-collegiate and looks like a minor league NFL athlete for football. And if I messed that up, you just come on back and correct me here in a bit. He says he really loves baseball and basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, would you please help me to welcome with a great round of applause. I know I can't hear you, but give a round of applause anyway for the one and only King Solomon Ward.
What's going on, Bob?
What's going on, man? How was that intro? Was that intro all right for you?
It was good. It was good. It was good. I was chanting for myself in the background. I was clapping. I was ready. I was ready.
Excellent, man. Well, I hope it lived up to the legendary introduction that you put out. This is the legend. We're going to stake it and decree it now. The legend, King Solomon Ward. As I've shared with you, what we'd love to do first is just do a couple of rapid fire questions, and then we're going to get into the meat of the conversation. So that being
Okay.
said, I'm going to start real light and easy, which is just what's your favorite Christmas song? We're around the holidays, coming to the end of the year. Of course, we're hearing all kind of music that's flooding the grocery stores. Wherever we go, we're hearing holiday music. So give us your favorite Christmas song.
Merry Christmas for the temptation. That's mine. Yeah.
Alongside with that favorite Christmas song, what's your favorite Christmas meal?
Favorite Christmas meal would have to be just turkey and dressing. But the dessert has to be pecan pie.
Okay, okay. I'll get now. Any particular style of turkey and dressing, like Cajun dressing, Cajun black smoked turkey?
I would have to go with like it'd have to be just smoked, like a smoked turkey with regular dressing. I don't need no fancy, nothing. Just regular dressing.
Okay, and your pecan pie, you call it pecan or pecan?
Pecan, pecan.
Now, made with Caro syrup, or what do you normally make your pecan pie with?
You see, I don't make it. My mom and them normally do. I just show up to eat it, but that's my favorite. That's my favorite pie in the world, pecan pie. You can eat any holiday, your birthday, any season. It don't even matter.
Pecan pie. Okay. All right. All right. Well, because you are a trainer, I want to create a couple of questions in a family feud kind of a way. Let's see how well
Okay.
you can answer these questions. Name
Okay.
an unhealthy ingredient you often see in kids' cereal.
Oh wow. An
Name an
unhealthy.
unhealthy ingredient you often see in kids' cereal. There's at least four different answers.
So an unhealthy ingredient that I often see in kids cereal.
And
I
you got
haven't made
2 seconds to
cereal.
answer. I just made that one up.
So I'm gonna say starch.
Oh, that's a good one. That's actually not on the list, but yeah, starch. Give me two more, and I'll let us move
I'm
on.
the the food dye coloring, that's unhealthy. Like if they eat food with the dye color, and then the um, mm,
Three,
oh, the third one is
two,
tough.
one.
Syrup. You give me syrup.
Well, oddly enough, syrup was the second on the list.
Oh,
The first one was sugar.
I
But
wanted to say
deep,
sugar.
you're so deep in your training that you went for the starch first, a very
Starch.
uncommon, and the dyes, two very uncommon things that are normally referred to when we think about unhealthy cereal. So it's sugar, syrup, chocolate, and then salt.
Sugar, syrup, chocolate, and then salt. Gotcha.
Next one, tell me how you know that your friend is on a diet. How do you
I can
know that
tell.
your friend is on a diet?
Me personally, everybody's body give off an odor. So when you clean the body up, the odor of the body changes. So when that changes, I can always tell they're on a diet. They have different energy forms. Um, they're more consistent. Their skin clears up. They look brighter. They just have a different bounce about it.
Golly, you know the burning question I have for you now is as a coach, how often do you smell these odor changes?
A
I know
lot,
it's a friend, but a
a
lot.
lot, a lot, a
Okay, we're gonna
lot,
leave it
a
right
lot.
there. Last one. Tell me how you know. Oh, I just read that one. Name a food that you wish was healthy so you could eat it per day.
Man, I'm gonna tell you a food that I wish that was healthy every single day is Italiano's pasta.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a
I'm
good
talking about
one.
the whole. I want the bread and all. Like even though I'm talking about the pasta alone, add the bread in there because oh my gosh, it's unreal.
Well, I think the combination, let me say the ingredients of what you mentioned are somewhat in the answers, and I'm going to move us from here. But it's pizza, candy, cake, cookies, ice cream, chips, and fries are the most common ones that come up. And I don't think I read the
Ice
last one.
cream would be my ice cream would be my ice cream would be my number two. Cookies and cream ice cream from Bluebell.
A long distance high five right there.
I'm telling you.
Cookies and cream favorite ice cream, bar none. As I've gotten older, maybe some vanilla ice cream. I know it's plain Jane or Jill.
Vanilla be busting.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other answers, which your answer was not on this list, but I'm going to read it anyway. For knowing if a friend or when a friend changes their diet, is eating less, losing weight, of course. I think you said that one. Eating healthy, and then a person being cranky.
There we go.
Okay, so we're moving to the meat of our questions, man. Appreciate you indulging me with those rapid fire questions. The soundtrack, and I so hope that you answer this one, man, because I really want to craft something that was unique enough, but we'll find out once you answer. But the soundtrack of life description is what I call this question. Choose one movie, a TV show, cartoon, and or a song that summarizes your life and why. And I'll read those in. Choose
so
the soundtrack.
If I had to, no, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just going to read it one more time. So the soundtrack, I call it the soundtrack of life description. Okay, so this is just you choosing one, or you can choose as many as you want, but choose one movie, a TV show, cartoon, and or a song that summarizes your life and why.
So if I had to choose one of those, I would have to choose what you heard earlier talking was Martin Lawrence, the TV show, his TV show, and that's like that show alone. That would be my life soundtrack.
Now you gotta tell us why.
It's because every episode, even though Martin's a comedian, all right, and then when you go look up Martin, you realize why, he made such a major impact in the Black community. Like I don't think people give him enough flowers while he's living right now. But Martin, not only did he play himself, he played multiple characters. To do that one, that means that every day we wake up, we play different roles. We play, not play, but we are. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, oh, I'm one way all the time. I can't be one way all the time. I'm trying to get great.
For sure.
Then,
I heard that.
Two,
I said that somebody.
With that, he's funny, but every episode has a deeper meaning than, oh, let me just laugh at Martin. Every episode is it gives a jewel. You know what I'm saying? Like every single episode, if you really go back and watch every single episode, there's a hidden message behind all of his messages. Every episode, and I mean, what he do, like 20 some episodes a season. So if you go back and watch the first full season, I mean, that's you should be golden by the end, And it just teaches different forms of relationships, different ways of guidance, how all his friends were always around, how all his friends stayed true to him, how he was a light to them, how they were a light to him. I mean, you just need everybody, So that's why I would say that would be mine.
Wait, well, you know what? This is probably going to be the hardest question that you have for today. Then let me follow up and ask you, what's your number one favorite episode from Martin Lawrence?
Ooh, my number one favorite episode is, if it's not my favorite, it's in my top 3.
Okay.
Is when Gina and Pam saw these two guys rob a bank, and Martin hired Dragonfly Jones to come to the apartment and train him for fighting. And Martin, as he's like, going through, as Dragonfly Jones come in, and his assistant Kenji, as he come in and he's assisting, Dragonfly Jones started doing all this crazy stuff just to be funny, But the message behind it was, even though you got the name Dragonfly Jones, and he's supposed to be this mixed martial art master, you still can lose. So no matter how great you get, you still can lose. I'm talking about, it's just funny to me.
You took me the first time, because I'm thinking, man, I don't remember that episode until you described that scene. This is where they were in their apartment, right?
Yeah. And he come in his
apartment. Yeah. And the assistant was throwing him on the ground. The ground. Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one. I'm telling you, it is
Oh
funny.
man,
Funny, funny, funny.
man.
Watch. You're gonna go back and watch Martin now. You're gonna go back and watch
Oh
Martin
man,
now. Watch. This is
I've
the
already
episode.
purchased the first 3 seasons. I think it was. I have the first
That's what I'm
season,
talking about.
but I'm definitely now going to have to go back and watch.
Um,
Let me ask you this, because it seems like every time I've had some kind of interaction with you, you've made an intent to drop some kind of wisdom and some kind of knowledge.
I
What
don't know what I be
exactly is
doing,
that?
but he say I do it. I don't know how he figured this
Well,
out, but he said.
I said it. I said it. Now whether you consider it to be some kind of, I've just noticed this. Let me put it like that, so I won't elaborate. So and you quickly, and I think the part of what you just said, you identified, of course, this comedy show that many of us in the Black community, if you grew up in the '90s, you watched Martin Lawrence, perhaps some of the others out that was out there, but definitely Martin Lawrence was one of those staples. But I've never necessarily reflected on the shows and thought about it being philosophical. My moments of
Yeah,
Martin's, them going out on that vacation, the big rat came from up under from wherever, and
yeah, 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 yeah.
hilarious. I mean, so those are my moments of just the laughter and the humor that it brought. But you identified the philosophical messaging that was behind it. And so I'm curious what kind of shaped that over the process. I mean, was that something that you always had as you watched Martin as a kid? Or was that something you got in hindsight as you got older and said, man, I didn't realize how much wisdom or he was putting into these shows as we were watching this? Does that make sense?
Man, yeah, it does. It does. Believe it or not, it's always been there. Like that. Like even coming up, like watching, Martin Lawrence, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, watching the Wayans brothers. Mom was always, even though the Will Smith show had the mom and dad in the house, and I grew up with my mom and dad in the house. I love Will Smith. He's a Libra. I'm a Libra. I love Will Smith. But Martin was more of, man, when I get to college, I'm gonna have these type of friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to have these friends when I get to college. So when I saw Martin, I saw let me buckle up. He like prepared me for life. If that
Right.
if that makes sense. Like he
Okay.
prepared me for, man, don't be crazy when you get out there, like start spending money like crazy, man. You got ends to meet. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like it was just like little bit of things like that that as I was coming up, I always looked at it as like, wait a minute, Martin really trying to tell us something right here. And then all of my buddies, partners, friends, they looked at it in a similar way. And their meaning was, we still got to enjoy them. So we all got a different take from. We would always like have like little close off essays about like, right, or what did we learn in the first 3 episodes of Martin or something like that. So when I look at it now, it even is a more deeper meaning now than a lot of people probably wouldn't even like think about it. But the show is timeless to me. Like it's a timeless show.
It's crazy because as soon as you start describing the preparation for life, immediately I start doing my little, kind of going through the roles and trying to figure out, dang, which episode really jumps out to me. And immediately I thought about the life insurance episode where he thought Gina was trying
Yeah,
to get the life insurance,
killing.
not knowing that this was a message he was putting out there for our community.
Yes,
Life
yes.
insurance. Fantastic, man.
I'm telling you, Martin.
Raise my awareness up another notch.
Yes, he's a genius. He's a pre-genius, and he's still living. So to me, he's a genius. Like just smart.
Beautifully stated, man. I didn't see that one coming, which was great because that's probably going to be coming. There's some things that's going to be coming up along the way as we travel through the rest of the questions. So I appreciate your indulgence with that. How would you describe yourself? So we've kind of got an insight, a window into maybe what some of your, you've given us what some of your influences were just by talking about Martin. And there's much more to really open up about that. But how would you describe yourself?
If I had to describe myself, I would describe myself more so as like I would describe myself as a lumber yard.
Okay, break that down for us. Break that down.
So everything you see today, not everything, but most of the stuff that's being built today comes from a lumber yard. There's wood behind every single frame, every single structure is being put up today. So without a lumber yard, meaning without wood or whatever the case may be, none of the stuff today would be built. Okay, none of the sites that we love to see would be built. So when I say I describe myself as that, as people, I describe myself as the source for people to create whatever they want to and be great at it. And then they can use that to market themselves, brand themselves, and push themselves to the next level. So I don't know how God put me in that position of being able to give out and being able to be, used at times, being able to, let pride down for a minute and, just be who I need to be soft, be emotional, be sweet, be kind, all that, to someone come in, purchase the lumber, then take me to a site and then start building on me to create something perfect.
Boy, you
or
so
their
deep.
masterpieces. Or their masterpieces,
man.
you know what I'm saying? So take a piece of me and take it out there and then people can also bring it to you. So even though I am the lumberyard, you still got people out there cutting wood to bring it to the lumberyard. So no matter how many people come spend $100,000, $200,000 to get lumber out, I still got 45, 90, 100 trucks coming in with lumber. So the more I give out, the more they come in. I try not to be like prideful, but but trying to be prideful, just understand that no matter how much you give out, something's always coming in. So that's me. I'm always the middleman. I plug the plug with the plug any day.
Well, let me ask you, so do you have siblings?
I do. I have 6 sisters, and then I'm the only boy that my mom and dad had together.
Okay.
And then I have an outside brother. His name is Isaac. My dad's
Are
son.
you in the middle of your siblings?
I'm the next to the youngest.
Next to the youngest. Okay. Usually the middle child is the diplomatic child who's in between, kind of mitigating and managing the siblinghood.
That's what they say. They tell me all the time.
That's
what they tell me. You got to be the middle child. I'm next to the youngest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's how I would describe myself. That would be me.
Well, a really beautiful analogy, man. And for those who can't, let me rephrase it. For those who understand this brother and know why I call him a wise one, that just further proves that he is definitely one that demonstrates wisdom. And for anybody who gets to know this brother, now you know why that brother is considered to be a wise brother, based on how he described that. The you call it the yard. What'd you call that again?
The lumber yard. Lumber yard. Yeah.
That's gonna stay with me. So this may seem a bit on the reverse, but I can't help but to ask it now. First memory of wisdom that comes to mind. So seeing that you are a person that seems to attract a certain level of wisdom, when you think about your first memory of wisdom, what is that moment for you?
Ooh, the first moment of wisdom. It had to have been when I was like, more so.
I'm gonna pause you for one moment, King Solomon, because I know the episode of Marvin where they're in the beauty shop right now, and I can hear it very clear. If you
yeah. Turkey. You turn it down a little more.
Yeah.
You said I can hear Martin in the beauty shop. You got to work on Marvin's toes.
See, yeah. One of my other favorite episodes. I'm not going to hear anything you say because I know that episode line upon line, precept on precept.
Yeah,
and I will be while you're talking. So, first memory of wisdom.
Oh, man. So my first memory of wisdom would have to be when I was like, man, it's a few, but one that stand out to me is I'm from Louisiana, right? So I'm from a black neighborhood that's country, but I went to a white school, a public school, but it was more so white people went there, and it was predominant white. And my first memory of wisdom was I was in first grade, and I had stole a piece of candy, a piece of candy. Now, elementary when you would like they would make it like these little. It was the chicken hand for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
turkey
yeah,
hand, the turkey hand for Thanksgiving.
yeah,
And
yeah.
in the middle, we always put that little, it was these little strawberry, banana, like little bitty piece of candy that you can untwist. It had the little person on the front, little bitty small
Okay.
piece of candy. Well, there was one of them on a chalkboard, and I took it and I ate it. And I never forget the girl named Melanie Lawson. She said, "Ooh, Solomon stole that candy." Oh man, oh man, oh man. I was about to get mad. But for some reason in me was just like, just relax. Be all right. It'll be all right. So fast forward, like 3 weeks later, the classroom hamster had got out. Nobody knew where it was. She's scared of hamsters. So we're in the multi-purpose room practicing for that was during Thanksgiving. We're in the multi-purpose room now practicing for Thanksgiving or Christmas play. And we're on these risers. And guess what come from behind the risers? That hamster. Guess who's on the top row? Melanie. So the hamster comes out, it scares her. Now, she could have easily fallen backwards. But when I saw her getting ready to run from the hamster, I grabbed her hands and walked her down the risers
Wow.
and let her run after that. My thing was patience. No matter what, they'll need you in the end. No matter
Wow.
what. Even when they talk about you, tell on you, rat on you, snitch on you, whatever the case may be, they'll need you in the end. I was hungry that day too. Like I wanted some kid. I was hungry. And she said, I missed my recess. I like she wouldn't let me go on recess or nothing. She was like, no, you ate the candy, so you gotta stay in class and blah blah blah. And didn't get to go outside, didn't get to play kickball, no tetherball, none of that. My boots were cold on the inside. And then here we come 2, 3 weeks later, practice for a play, and she about to fall out the back, and I walking down the steps. Yeah, patience, patience, patience.
That's powerful, man. That alone deserves a short book.
I
That alone deserves a short book,
wouldn't even know
man.
what to call it.
That's
Man.
so I don't know how to necessarily connect it to the next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because um, I foresee that you're going to be coming back to some of those moments anyway. But go ahead and share with us your journey in terms of fitness, kind of what got you into training, and just how perhaps you're using these kinds of stories with your clients, because I can only foresee that that's something that really can give someone that much more motivation in terms
Yeah.
of maybe pushing to that next level or letting things go, especially when you're in the gym, you're training, you're aiming for something, the importance of centralizing that focus. But I'm not going to steal your
Yeah.
thunder. I'm putting that back to you. Talk to us about your journey in fitness and what's led you up to this point as a trainer.
Yeah. So with that, my journey in fitness and how all of that, how life lessons tie into it, is because when people get a trainer, when they get any type of coach, all right, is not just necessarily the area that is on the building outside. So even though we're at level 1 fitness, people can be going through depression or financially unstable. I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm not saying I'm the wealthiest man on earth, but I just don't care about. That's why I said financial, because I just don't care about I don't care about the money so much that I can't talk to somebody about finances. Just like I can know about it and tell somebody else about it, they can help them along the journey. And then I have people that I train that actually mentor me financially, like Muhammad. So, in all of that tied together, my journey in life, how I got into fitness is tied together because it's not just about the fitness part. It's not just about the personal training. You know, it's more so about the mental state of the individual. So the story I just told about the girl that, you know, snitched on me, then a few weeks later had turned around and helped. The thing about it is you may not see how your body's transforming right now. That's what the coach is for. You may not see how you're slowly progressing. You may not see how things in you are developing more. You may not see how more patient you're becoming in your reps. You don't see how, you know, you used to quit at 10 reps. Now we're pushing 25 and 30 reps. You know, you don't see how, oh man, last week we only did 310. This week we had 315. Though it's 5 pounds, that's amazing. 5 pounds. I get excited about that. You know, you may not see it, but I see it. So in all those moments, you know, if we believe in each other and we trust in the process, and if we're really there to get better, there is no time frame on it because we're gonna forever get better, no matter what. So when we wait things out and just trust the process, that's where life came in for me. Because when I first got into bodybuilding and I did my first show, I never did a show to do a show. I did a show because the show was the reward. I knew I was going to win. I knew I was going to be first place. Like I knew when nobody going to stop me. I knew that already. That was already there. The hard part was the process. You know what I'm saying? Like people be saying, oh, well, you can't change overnight. I honestly believe you can change overnight, but the world only see the process. So the world judge you from point A to point Z, but you changed at point A. The world got to catch up with you by the time you get to Z. So people only judge you by what they see.
Well, let's take a pause right there because I want to make sure that people that they get time to reflect on what you just said. That was another jewel you dropped, man. You just can't be dropping like that and just be going on. That's a jewel now. You say we done started A and you done moved on and we're still stuck trying to catch up with where you done went.
Yeah. That's what it is. Like, I have someone that's close to me named Mael. Like, if you ever get a chance to have her on this podcast, sit down and talk with her and chat with her, the thing about it, she'll tell you herself, like, when people come to train, right? They have let's say I'm coming with expectations. Those expectations are naturally going to let you down because that's what you want to see in you every single day. But the real thing is when you come to get a trainer, that's your belief system. Your belief system is only going to be there as long as you believe in it. Now, when you start talking back to the belief system, that's when you lose the belief system. Now it feels like comparison. Now it feels like anything you say, because I don't accept excuses, anything you say, you can't give an excuse to me because for one, I have one leg and I'm in a wheelchair and I'm doing more than you will ever do right now. So you can't give me an excuse, just come give me this work. So then it becomes that. So now the belief system level. So now you got to go home and you have to believe in yourself that, you know what, I can do better. All right, let's say you start telling yourself, I can do better. Today is Monday. 365 days from now, it's going to be end of the year. New Year is tomorrow, which that Monday now becomes a Tuesday, right? Talking about a year later. So that December the 30th is now December the 30th on a Tuesday. By the time you make it there, your family and friends, all they see is the end result of the process you changed a year ago. So they live in a year behind. You know what I'm saying? So they hold you in a moment, they judge you in a moment, and then you've progressed personally, spiritually, and emotionally, but they're trying to catch up to it. So your new fresh year of defeating everything that was against you, here comes your family, here comes your friends, here comes everybody, and like, oh, well, you think you're brand new now. So now the strength is stronger. So now not only do you got to prove to yourself that I can be better, you got to prove them in your new year that you still can be better and greater. So when he said, I can make a non-believer a believer, that's just how life is. And so they're living a year behind you. trying to catch up to you and wondering why it's hard to catch up. That's why what it was the turtle and the who ran the race, the rabbit and the turtle, the
the hare and the turtle. I think it was the hare and the
something
turtle.
like that. Yeah, and the turtle ended up winning. It's because the turtle believed in itself a year ago.
That's good.
See what I'm talking about? The turtle believed in itself a year ago, and so now that the hare went to sleep, he rested on him. He fell asleep on him. Well, in that year, I kept growing. Now I'm finished with the race, and now everybody waking up like, where you go? Where you go? I'm at the finish line. This is a victory lap, baby. I'm just jogging. You know what I'm talking
about? Yeah, for sure. Listen, I can riff on that all day. We'll be here all day just to riff
I'm telling you.
on that because. So y'all got to sit up now. You got me stirred
up.
Yeah.
Hold up. Yeah, just a glass a little bit. Yeah.
Picture that, man. Listen.
Yeah. Lock in on them.
I love that point that change can happen as fast as you want it to, especially when you think about changing your mind.
Yes.
One of the crown jewels that we have in this life is the ability to be in our right minds and to have our mind, because it doesn't matter what happened around you, who said what, when, why. When you make up in your mind or you learn to change your mind about it and you get free in your mind, there are no boundaries. You're bound to relive. Is that how you say that? There's no limitations. None. Your body, we talk about the people having to catch up. Our bodies sometimes have to catch up with our thinking.
Yes. Because it's so far. Yes.
You got it.
Yes.
Once you get that mind and that body in alignment, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. And I love the fact, because I'll give you my honest truth, and I'm going to say this really quickly because I'm telling you that you done turned the little faucet. It's like
filling up that.
But I'll say it's so crazy because as I'm going through and I'm just kind of revamping some things and business endeavors and some of my material, there was a question that was posed to me from my business coach about, who you are, your ideal client. So what does that client need? I was like, I love that.
Wow.
And it made me, right? It made me have to go and revisit some other things that I've kind of just tucked away and said, not for now. That'll be something, when I get a little bit more education and I get a little bit more of this, and I'm not knocking those things, but it's like when that question was asked, I realized how much started to emerge and how much I was like, that's the sweet spot right there. That's the part where you can, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, he said, you are your ideal client.
Yeah, he said, so when you think about your business model, you have to think about you are your ideal client. What does that look like?
Got you. There we go. You are your ideal client. What is that? What do you need? Got you. I like that. I like it.
What does that look like? What do you need that once you get that, it solves a problem? Of course, when we think about business, you always want to think about how is your business or what you provide is solving a problem. And I've worked through several, and I've thought about several programs that I have on what I think would be, and what I have thought would be most accommodating for who I am at this point. And so anyway, all that to say, oftentimes what has happened, and I know for very right reasons, is that you kind of go in this isolation mode, that 1 year period where perhaps the people around you are not seeing the changes. But the deep level change that are happening, the things that you're kind of going through, the skills you're developing, and all of the ingredients for the changing process, because it's never stopped, right?
Yeah.
But all of those things that you are learning along the way, you recognize that you almost you're a new person, but you create a new mindset, a new language. And when you start looking back where you came from and you're talking in a new language, sometimes you don't recognize yourself, but oftentimes many of the people who have held you to that in prison
Understand?
they
Yeah,
think they know you of, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's like now you're speaking Spanish to them. Well,
yeah, yeah. It's foreign.
who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Go ahead. This ain't my. We ain't interviewing me. I'm
No,
interviewing you, man. Talk
no,
to us.
I like it. I like it. I like it because I don't know what everybody read and I don't know what everybody believe, and I just have my own belief system. I'm gonna say that as far as like I seek God's heart. So even biblically, a lot of people miss this major part in the Bible. Okay, do you know what age Jesus was when we didn't hear from him?
Like 12 to 30.
And then when he came back, he was 32, right?
I think he was 30, and then his ministry started shortly after. It was like a 3.5 year period of his ministry. But I'm with you. I believe I'm with you. Come on with it.
Yeah. So left at 12, came back at 30. Okay. It's an 18-year span.
Yeah.
Of work. So when he came back, everybody was like, "Oh my God! Oh, wow! He can do this. He can do that." What was he doing for 18 years?
That's good. Don't you make us have church on here.
We will, because that's why I got into training. It's more than training. It's more than that. So if Jesus can do it for 18 and come back and shock the people, raising the dead, like, why can't I?
Yes.
And I'm talking about dead as in people who don't know and who don't believe. Yeah. Don't. I feel you.
That's water. That's H2O for those who don't know.
And so is that your brand?
Huh?
Is that your brand?
Well, I have a water machine.
We need to make it. Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is the H2O brand. How about that?
Yeah. And so when I read and when I go through those moments of, man, like this journey, I never say it's tough. That word may slip out every now and then, like, man, this tough. It may slip out every now and then, but I don't mean tough how people today mean tough. I mean tough as in like a wake up call, like I need to get together type stuff. And because the people around me, though the people around me, they have their own journey and mission in life. Believe it or not, they don't take it light on me at all. I'm talking about from my daughter to Mael to Slim Thug and all of them. None of them take it light on me. They may think some days, oh, well, Saul probably got the best of me, whatever the case may be, but no. To see them every single day, get up. My daughter wake up early. She grind all day long. She tell me about every moment. She tell me about the friends she made. She tell me about how good God is. She tell me about her workout for the day. I never pushed any of this on her. I don't pressure about nothing. That ain't my journey. That ain't my mission. I just try to live by the best examples I can before I get out of here and go live the next life. But while I'm here, I'm gonna make as many impacts as I can. So when my daughter don't see me for let's say a day, let's say she don't see me for a day, I treat that one day as the 18 years that Jesus was gone.
That's good.
So every time I see her after that one day, I'm trying to do something magical. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time she saw me stand on my hands on my head, she's like, oh my gosh, she like the whole one leg thing. My daughter has no idea that, man, my dad really has one leg. My daughter see like this, man, my daddy is Superman.
Wow.
Because I have no excuse. So every day I see her, she's 7 years old. She's a big baby. That's my big baby. Every time I see her, she jump up on me. Every time I see her, and my daughter she's bigger than the average 7-year-old. So every time I see her, I have to pick her up and like do this like angel fly thing because she strongly believes that she's an angel. She is. So I pick up and she fly every single time. So if I choose to get weak, that means I can't pick up my daughter. So now she has doubt. So my daughter doubt me, that's pressure.
Wow.
If my daughter don't believe me no more, that's pressure. Because daddy can do anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a little bit of stuff like that that I really do take. People can take everything else to the heart, but the people that's around you, if you can just show them that there is no reason that you are not the reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a little bit of stuff like that that be like major, major, major impact.
Man, man, Solomon fits your name perfectly, brother. It fits your name perfectly. Oh my gosh, I can do this all day, man. That golly, man, you just make me want to riff and just say a whole lot of stuff that will be good stuff because I don't believe in just saying stuff to say it. Golly,
Yeah.
you make me just want to say some more things to that, and I am want to make a statement. I want to move on from there, but you know, when your motivation comes from a deeper place, then it tends to fuel you in those moments of challenges. And you just see them very differently. And I
Yeah.
think that if it's something I wish of many things, I wish I could bottle up and offer to our community, women and men. But I'm gonna tell you, I have a really, really sensitive heart right now for young black men, for black men in particular, but young black men. Um, in the really recent week, I lost at least one cousin to gun violence, and my oldest godson was jumped. And these are people within our own community who are created, who have created this, or should I say, participated in this environment of violence. And there's some other components with that I won't go into detail now, but it's done something to me in a way like never before. You know, I've
Yeah.
lived in a few different places. I've lived in Chicago. I've walked the streets and seen some of the, atrocities, if you will. I've seen some great things in that community, as well as here in Texas and Dallas and other communities around the country. But it's something about, I guess, as you get older, I'm not a father, but I've had several different people, men, women, boy, girl, of a variety of races that I've mentored because partly that was a part of my profession in my
Yeah.
20s. But it's like at this point where I'm almost 40, I'll be 40 coming into the year, and to see us deal with the level of pressures that we've dealt with. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I wish we can give them something to open their eyes and say, listen, I know it's hard right now. I know it's a challenge right now, but this does not have to be your story. And
Yeah, it's
for
true. It's true.
someone like you, man, who doesn't allow for, okay, I don't have my leg, but you don't allow for that to be your excuse. And I know that everyone's situations are different. I get that. I know that mental health is a real issue, but to know that we have this power within ourselves, that we can reach in that power and pull it up and out, as well as pull yourself up and out of the very oppressive. If you can't take yourself out of the environment, again, the power of your mind, you can do anything. You can pull yourself out of anything. There is not one thing that you cannot pull yourself out of. Unfortunately, there's going to likely be more shootings. Unfortunately, there are going to be people within our community who are not going to get out of the oppressive situations. But you do not have to allow your mind to stay there. So I want you to kind of speak to that, man. I just feel compelled, and I want you to kind of say something to that because it's not only on my heart, but it's the world that we're living in, have been living in for a while. But it's something about in these recent moments that I think it deserves more voice to be lended towards that topic in particular of black on black crime, violence, etc. Can you kind of speak to that for a bit?
Yeah. I mean, I lost a lot of good friends to, the streets. I lost a lot of good friends to bullets. I lost a lot of good friends to, man, you wouldn't even ops. You know what I'm saying? I lost a lot of good friends to pressure, peer pressure. I lost a lot of good friends just to a lot of different things. Um, but I lost most of my good friends to like black on black. Like bullets don't have a name. It's type atmospheres. And when when we realize as a race and as a sex, right, being a black male, when we realize that the best way that the world will win is if we stay separated.
Mm-hmm.
You may lose worldly friends to, man, you know what? I ain't even gonna ride with y'all today, man. I'm gonna stay at home. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hang out with my mom. I'm gonna hang out with my dad. You know, I'm gonna play with my little brother. I'm gonna play with my little sister. You may lose worldly friends because your mind has changed.
Mm-hmm.
But your friends are always the ones who will support you in any circumstance, in any situation.
That's
They
right.
shouldn't get mad at you. They shouldn't. So when you look at your friends, you know, are they the image that you would want to come from? I mean, like, can you help them in those areas? Even if they talk about you and say you stole and ate a piece of candy, whatever, can you still be that person's friend 15 years from now and help coach them through the toughest 15 years of their life?
That's good. That's
because
good.
they may be trying to get out of a cage themselves too, that they're like locked into, as far as, man, this is the only life I know. Well, really it's not, because anything that we ask, we can have. Even if God take us from here and place us in Washington, D.C., we can survive. And I'm talking about survive as in like, not survive like, oh, I barely made it through it. I'm talking about an overcome type of survival.
There we go.
So in that sense, you know, I mean, I love guns. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love guns. I probably got 35, 40 guns. I love them. I love guns. And I love them because if you pick up a gun and shoot it with nothing in it, nothing's gonna come out. But if you load it with a hollow point, whatever, and pull that trigger, something gonna come out. So as a human, if I load my brain with knowledge will come out. And it's hard too. So people can't deny that. People think I like guns because, oh, they look cool. No. You can dress them up any type of way, put them in any type of environment, and they can do what they would only do what you allow them to do. That's your mentality. You can dress it up, put it in any environment, and it will do what you want it to do.
There we go.
Now, the heart of the gun is different. The heart is the chamber. No matter where you aim the chamber at, that's where the bullet gonna come out at. No matter what you aim it at. It has a tunnel vision to get there. It has no other, you can't shoot a gun straight and it goes sideways. So if my heart is set on this mission and my mind is pumping it out, I have no choice but to hit that target. No choice. There's no other way around. There's no other way. So the only difference is when you get a shotgun and you put the bullet in and you shoot it, it spray out. That's your Martin Luther King, that's your Malcolm X, that's your Barack Obamas. That means when I speak, nations will listen. That's different. So that's what I feel like as a black male, and we change our mentality to, man, let me go read this book. You know what are some good books? I feel like if there's enough black men that'll step up and be like, you know what, let me send so-and-so 3 books this week. Tell him read these. I'm gonna ask him about it 2 weeks from now and make sure he read it. Just do it. Like don't look for nothing in return. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah. I know we all got 2 books laying around. We can, get to the next man, And even with grown men, there's a lot of grown men who don't know a lot of things. They just know the streets.
Absolutely.
One of my best friends in the world. He's heavily in these streets. Heavily. But if I go home to Louisiana right now, when he see me, he changed his whole posture. And we call him Uncle Monk because Uncle Monk, he's one of the most dangerous people in Louisiana. Like, this is no joke. And he don't mind me saying it. He does not mind.
Sure.
But Monk he's always had my back in a good way. So I know his heart is different. I know his environment just been the same. So in that sense, I feel like we can pull a lot of more people out if we just made the effort to. A lot of people talk about plans, but no action behind the plan. So it's like dead plans. And then I hear a lot of people talking about stuff that we need to do, but when they say we need to, it kind of lose my ear because I'm like, okay, if I'm making this effort, what can you do to help impact this? Like stop talking about it. Like, let's go. Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So in that sense, I love I love action. I love making a small action. I love like little bitty small action that add up to something greater, something bigger. I love those things because at the end of the day, 4 years from now, everybody that's 12 years old will be 16. So that's 4 years of an impact we made. So now these 16-year-olds are making a different impact. So now everybody that's 8 years from that, they'll be 16. So then they come forward, they make it 16. Now they're making a bigger impact.
Mhm.
So those that were 24, those that were 16 are now 24. Those that are that were 8 are now 16, and then those that are 16 are now impacting the little babies. So now they're 2 years old. Now they got their whole life ahead of them. So now we made a bigger impact. So I feel
Absolutely.
like if we just take the time and use our platforms or use the things we do in life as far as personal training and stuff like that, just use it for a different outreach. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy told me a long time ago, ministry is not always behind a pulpit.
No doubt.
So that's why I say it's deeper than training. It's bigger than that.
No doubt. No doubt, man. The way you broke it down really speaks to how we can make that change in one generation. The way you broke that down, just in those year rotations, the kind of change that I would love to see, I think that many of us would love to see within our community and others, but there's something definitely distinctive about what's happening in our community as I've been reflective over for quite some time. And that's no other community, I believe, with the exception of perhaps the brown community, but no other
Mhm.
community within the United States do its own people attack attack us, black on black crime. We get other communities as well that are attacking us. Then you throw legislation, then you throw policy around it that justifies some of the violence that has been attached to our community. Nobody else in this community is experiencing that, not at the level that we are. So I've had to kind of have my own awakening and really recognize what kind of conversation to start off with needs to
Yeah.
be had around identifying what is the overarching problem, because it's not just black on black crime. It's just happening. We're just some of the most violent people. That's not the case. I've been traveled enough to know that people in general are violent, and when you put them into poverty-stricken communities or when you compromise their living environment, it doesn't matter what color of your skin, people are going to
Yeah.
go crazy because it's not a natural way to live. Unfortunately, we have propaganda that perpetuates this message that the black community is just out of control and we just need to be
Yeah.
eradicated. It's a lot deeper than that, but that could be for another episode. But thank you for speaking to that issue, because I think it's definitely important to not only know that it's possible, but also that we have to really push ourselves into being solution oriented. And I'll be honest, I'm in a state right now, man. It's somewhat like a suspended state of to have to really rethink about how does these recent circumstances I've described to you, and of course many others that you describe, how do I allow for these kind of events to inform what I do moving forward? Because my aim is to do things that are sustainable, that outlives me times 5, that outlives me. I want something to be around that, again, is sustainable, and it goes beyond just being legendary and legacy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
how is it making a sustainable change, and walking the fine line to say, with this big picture, what can we do today that contributes to that long haul change? And so thank you for sharing your thoughts around that. And I think it's a perfect setup almost for a couple of things. One is, I am going to tell it, and I probably got it in here. One of the questions this brother going to ask me before I worked out one morning was, what was my rate of production?
Yeah. 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 I got to know the rate.
I wasn't expecting that. I was just expecting you to say, hey, man, how was your weekend? Good weekend, man. I was good. I was busy is what I told him. It was busy. I
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
That's what prompted him to ask me, what was my rate of
Yeah.
production?
Yeah.
So, you ask me a good question like that, I'm trying to go work out. I can't even work out because I'm on my phone now. Like, wait a minute, rate of production. Okay, dang it, what's the
Yeah.
rate of
Yeah.
what's my rate of
Yeah.
production? I'm in between trying to do curls and dumbbells
Yeah.
and trying to calculate. I said, I can't just sit here. and take the rest of my workout time to answer this question. So this will be something I come back to. But I vowed to him I was going to give him a solid answer. And over those next probably 2 days, I was just going on to Google and looking at different matrices trying to answer this. But I say that to say is that part of how you answer the question make me go back to that, because it pushes us a little further to not firstly take for granted that what we're doing is having an impact.
Yeah.
And that's a hard reality sometimes to confront, is to be shook in your routine, even in the way that we answer, enough to stop us in a track and to think, is what I'm talking about making a contribution to improving my community?
Yeah.
Is what I'm doing actually making a contribution to that? And then I want to kind of follow up with this, because I think it's a great setup, which was a natural question, which is, in lieu of everything you just shared, what would be good about not changing? What would be good about not changing?
What would be good about not changing, as far as?
However you want to answer that. Whether you want to, if your mind immediately goes to training, or whether it goes to some of the events that we've just talked about, what would be good about not changing?
I want the highlighted just to make sure, I can answer it freely. So
Okay.
What would be good about not changing? What would be good about not changing? Okay. Anything in the world, I would say this: in not changing, if we're already growing, why change? Because if we're already, so change means to go either opposite direction, or it doesn't mean speed up the process. Like in my brain, it doesn't mean change means change. Like if I look at white, I got to look at black. That's what change means. If I look at black, I got to look at something opposite of. That's what change means to me. Change is different. So if I'm growing in life and I'm going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, and my brain is locked into every day I got to get better, why change? No matter what I do when I wake up, I would never have to change, because my mind is already programmed to be better. So that's not changing, that's just improving what I'm already doing and consistently doing it. Now, as far as, let's say, and I don't mean any respect to these people when I say this or nothing like that. Let's say if I'm homeless and I lived under a bridge, or I lived just roaming the streets, no disrespect to none of them, because I love them all. But I'm saying this because if they don't change, I think those individuals are there for a reason. Whether it's to re-humble you, I really do believe that God has angels walking the earth, so I can't talk about them. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So why should they change? If their mission is to be right there at that moment, why should they change? Now, if I'm the person who's talking about I'm always doing better, I'm getting better, I'm giving back to the community, but I drive past them and not even notice them, now I'm missing my mission in life, because I can't see what God has for me.
That's good.
So that means whatever I'm driving, I'm only living at that moment. So I can never fully absorb the change. So therefore, I'm the one that's changing, and that means I'm going into a bad area. But if I know that people are in places for a certain reason, and every day has its own mission, and I'm a part of the assignment, then therefore I will always be greater at the end of the day if I know that. So that's the best thing about not changing.
I mean, who could have answered that even better, brother? You answered that with Black excellence, as we would say.
Black excellence on.
That's a Black excellence response, my brother.
You said something earlier that was you said when we were talking about the young kids in the Black community, that you lost to violence and whatever. I was saying that at the end of the day, you said something along the lines of, you wouldn't know how to start that conversation, in that area. It's like, what could it be? Like, why is this happening all the time? Like what is it? And, my take on it is, it's earlier when I was saying, like, if someone comes to get a trainer, the trainer's the belief system. So I believe that we are the race. Like, well, I know we are the race. So if the enemy, people don't know the enemy can't move without permission.
Mhm. That's good.
So if that is strong in certain neighborhoods, whatever the case may be, that means that those are some great kids in their neighborhood. The enemy know that, like Job, the enemy know that he has to get to those kids. So if we reach out before the enemy do, then we win.
That's right.
But until that, I think it's God's way of saying he's waiting for us to step up
Oh, absolutely.
and
I'm
make a greater
100%
impact
on board.
and be major leaders in those areas. Because if you ever talk to a actual, my brother, my brother got life without parole this year. Yeah. But my brother, he's not a murderer. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wow.
So I don't care what the world say about it. I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
So in that case, if he did or didn't do what they say he did, that's my brother.
Hmm.
So I can't say that he grew up in a bad environment because he didn't.
Hmm.
I can't say that he did X, Y, Z because he didn't. But the enemy pulled at him long enough to where he sat in the area that he got adapted to. And being adaptive sometimes is dangerous because you can be a mastermind in an adapted area,
That's
you
good.
know? So
Word,
when
let me say
he
that.
went to, yeah, so when
No,
he
no,
went to jail,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
so when he went to jail, man, so many people said so many things. But to me, sometimes God always use you to expose those around you and then bring you back to the forefront, Kanye, and
Mhm,
let you look at everybody who don't believe you in their face.
mhm, mhm.
Now, as a human with this fleshly body, do I talk about them or do I tell them, even though y'all talked about me, I still pray for you?
Mhm.
So God would deliver my brother from that circumstance that he's in right now. I know that. And he gonna
Yeah,
protect him while he's there for sure.
there you go.
But when he come back out, the question is, the people who talked about him, are they gonna shake his hand or are they gonna keep talking about him? Then for my brother, will he continuously be Isaac or would he run from him?
Mhm,
I'm the type of person that I'll go straight to them and look them dead in their face and shake their hand and say, hey, let's keep moving.
mhm, mhm.
Because I have to be the example that show people that even though when they talk about you, talk bad about you, turn their back on you, you still have to be the bigger adult to come back and show them that love is real because that's the only language that we all can speak together and understand. So when I do that, now that's a different impact in the community.
That. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. Go for it.
No, I was just saying that that's a different impact in the community, and that one impact will lead to another impact, which will lead to another impact.
Mhm.
And so now my community has changed. Now you
Well,
can't sneak in and say, "Oh well, I know this person did this." No, 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 they didn't.
mhm,
So now we have now we have a community standing up for one person in a right way.
mhm.
And so when that happens, it empowers the next Black community
There we go.
and the next. And so now we stand up, the table fall off our back, and all the people up there trying to do this, they can move around
Mhm.
because we up now. So
It-
that's why I feel like we should make the difference at.
that's so in alignment with a short vision that I had just this morning as I was talking to a close friend of mine, and they were sharing with me a situation that happened with my godson. And I thought about this in lieu of the shooting of my cousins. It's the image I saw was just that. It's, do you have the ability to reach out to these young men that killed one of your cousins, shot the other one, end up killing his girlfriend as well? Do you have the ability to embrace these young men? These kids are like under 18.
Yeah.
You have the ability to go and say, I don't know what your lifestyle what your environment has been, what kind of things you encountered. We love you and we need you in our community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, this was, there's a lot with that, and I'm not saying that my family has to necessarily believe in that same way, but it's at that level of love that's needed to repair our community from within, that we have to be
that's it.
willing to step over and do the incredible, if you will, along in our own community. Because man, there's so much, even just in that imagery to be said, that's being brought to light, that why is it that our community in particular always has to be shown forgiving the enemy at the end of the movie and all those kind of things. And I do agree with that. There's a lot of undertones alongside with that. But if we can take that same imagery and really focus that within our own community, even the more, not that we leave everybody else out, but we put a special kind of focus on that repairment within our community. Just what you described, how much of a ripple effect that's going to have throughout our current generation and so far beyond. Wow, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to ask this, but I think you've already kind of answered it. But if you feel compelled to answer it, go for it. What might be bad about changing?
The bad about changing is you could be on the mission to saving the person beside you. But you changing puts them back in the mindset that they shouldn't trust what they should actually love. So you will lose that. That would be being, to me, that would be being selfish. If when people are, it's a bittersweet thing when people are quick to move around versus staying. I think their mission was to stay in, and they chose to move around because that's what they used to. So they lose the people that they need to make an impact on because they're so quick to change. But are you really changing, or are you staying the same?
Wow.
So now I done lost my brother, I done lost my sister.
Yeah.
Because I chose to leave. But I'm gonna tell you this quick story that's personal to me with one of my sisters. So my mom had a daughter at a very young age. I think my mom was like 13 or 14, somewhere around there. And we're grown now, and so my sister tells me that that she wanted to rekindle the relationship that we had, that like I have with my other sisters. Okay, so I go out of the way, not go out of the way, I go in my direction, and I go live with my sister for like a year and a half, or something like that. So mend that relationship. Now I'm in your home for a year and a half, and I'm there because I knew that I wanted to also close the gap between us. Not saying that there was a gap, but I'm just saying that, you know how people sometimes mentally create certain situations that they believe that's not real. Like, oh, they don't like me, they don't love me, all that stuff like that. And in reality, you just never sat down and asked me, do you love me? You know what I'm saying? So I go there and I live with her for a year and a half, or a year, something like that. And me and my nephew are like close as we've ever been, and XYZ. And so in this year and a half of me being there, every situation that was trying to be thrown at me, as far as, oh, we still have this problem, I embraced it. What do we need to do to change it? What do we need to do to get better at this? Okay, you say you want a different relationship. Okay, what do we need to do to get it? Even in a year and a half after I left, after a year and a half, if we still have that mindset as, oh, well, me and my brother, we didn't work out. Why didn't we work out? What was the problem? So if I'm there willing to change, why won't you meet me halfway? Not even halfway. If you just make a step, I'll take care of everything else. But why not make a step? So would change be good or bad in that area? I would say in that area right there, the change would be good, because not changing in that circumstance created a different atmosphere. Now the mentality, I love my sister to death. Like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And but the mindset is still, her mindset is still, well, we don't have a relationship. I'm still right here to this day. Anytime you're ready to close your gap, because my arms are wide open. Anytime you're ready to close the gap, I'm ready. But I will not let that circumstance stop me from growing in life and still being the example to my nephew, because that's the next gen.
There you go. There
So
you
now
go.
this 16-year-old has turned 24, and now that new 16 wave is making an impact on the younger children. So that's where I'm at with that part.
No, that's man, that's such a beautiful and perfect example about making a stand in a place where you had the opportunity to leave. You had the opportunity to break that covenant and that commitment and move around. And who knows what that child, your nephew, would have been missing had you not
Yeah,
stood and him observe how you treated his mother. Powerful. And that,
facts.
like I said, that's a that's one of the many ways I believe that in order for us to continue to make the level change or the kind of change that's needed, it's going to take those small things. Because I think what we have a tendency to do, let me say me, what I have a tendency to do is immediately go to the big picture change. How do we change this entire structure? And not to
Yeah,
say that that's not as important or not as important, but it's those little bite-sized steps along the way that creates that. And identifying
yeah,
what are those bite-sized changes that I can make right now that again is going to make a contribution to that overall change. Man, I love that. I love that. That's great. Great, great,
that's
great.
right.
Sister now, my older sister now wants to call me.
See that? See that? See that?
We done conjured up the power of the sisters. I'll call you back.
I'm oh my God.
See here. Greatest achievement so far. We're funneling this thing down. Greatest achievement so far. Man, I could talk to you all day, man. You good folk.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Barbecue next time. Barbecue. We got you.
All right. All right. Bet that.
Man, the greatest achievements by far now is being a dad. That's my greatest achievement. That's the biggest one. That's the biggest one. That's major. That's major. Black dad at that. That's major. That's major.
Well, and I don't want to move too swiftly from that. I want you to at least give me one example of why being a Black father is so why is that a marker for achievement for you? Being a Black dad, why is that important to you?
That's a marker of achievement, because when you look at TV, when you look at media, when you look at the world, when you look at Hollywood, when you look at New York, when you look at New Orleans, when you look at Miami, when they produce something great as far as a movie, film, whatever, it's always a single mom because the dad's not there. It's always some type of major problem. There's always some type of issue between the mom and dad. Okay. So for one, I don't know if you know, but my daughter's mixed. So
No,
her mom is from Minnesota. Okay. So in Minnesota, where they're from, there's no Black people at all.
okay.
None. So for one, there was a major change. Two, when I said like when he said he'll make a non-believer believe him, even though her mom and I didn't work out in a relationship, our daughter is our relationship. Okay, so being a Black dad in that environment, you know, is major because, and a major achievement because when you go places, for one, they're gonna look at you different. For two, it's like, wait a minute, what? So when Brennan be like, yeah, my dad's coming, like everybody's like, what, your dad's coming? What? So that's why I say I can't work for somebody. I can't work for somebody because to miss out on things that my daughter's doing, that would be forfeit. Like I just can't do it. I can't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I will quit a 9 to 5 before I will quit a 9 to 5 and make it to something my daughter has to do before I work for somebody. And I can't do something because my daughter thinks I'm Superman. So
Yeah.
when she says daddy's going to be there, that's major. Okay.
Mhm.
And then a lot of even older women today that I run into, bump into that I'm training, a lot of them didn't know their dad that well.
Mm.
So if I'm showing and leading by example as what, oh, I love him. No, Solomon's a great dad. But in my brain, I think, man, I can do better. 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 So if I keep that mentality of continuously growing with that mindset, it means that my change level is already there. So with that mindset, it also shows them that, man, there really are some great dads out there. So now in America, where we live today, as far as nobody want to be married and committed and all that. Now the belief system is I'm the change in that belief system as far as like, you know what? I can get married and have kids.
Mhm.
I can do this and that, and so it's all about that overall picture. And I'm from the country, so that's just what we believe in. We believe in, a home. So
Sure, 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 sure. What man? Again, I think that's a great way to address that, and to really talk to the achievements of being a father. And yes, it's a lot of pressure. And I do want to balance that with this, to a degree, that our pressure don't necessarily have to be your pressure, for whoever may be watching this. Our goals and achievements may not be your goal. I do believe that every father should desire to be the best father that they can be. And that's on
yes,
period.
indeed.
That they say now, learn it. That's
Yeah,
on
yeah,
period.
yeah, yeah. That's on period.
That's on period.
Yeah. My daughter, she'd be
Hey, they
like,
need to
capital
say
P.
period.
No.
Hold on, what was that one? What you say?
my, my daughter, she'd be like, capital P. I'm like, what? She'd be
Capital
doing her
P.
hand, yeah, she'd be doing her hand like this. I'm like, who are you?
What is that? Wow, capital P. Well, that can happen.
Yeah.
We won't even go to that.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, yes, yes, yes. I mean, I think that should be an achievement of any father is to, that's just part of the call to be there for your children. Um, but some of the things that we mentioned, whatever your call or calls may be, I think the biggest takeaway is just do it to the best of your ability. Do it to the best
Yeah.
of your ability.
Major, major, major.
Um, greatest lesson that you've learned so far?
My greatest lesson I learned so far is that even when people talk about you, you still got to be yourself. Even when people doubt you, you still got to be yourself. Even when people don't believe in you, you still got to be yourself. Even when people curse you, you still got to be yourself. The person you want to be has to stay and remain the same no matter what. That's the biggest lesson I've ever learned in life. If I want to become great, I have to know that trials and tribulations gonna come no matter what area where I go in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like we can never disappear. We can never disappear from God's eye. So wherever I go in this world, I'm saying that if I never stand up and fight for what I believe in, every place I go, I will always have to fight that battle. So I will always be running my entire life. I
No
can go
doubt.
to another place and claim happiness. I can go to Hawaii and be like, oh, it's so and so over there. I can go to Africa and be like, oh, you know what? This is the land. But even people in Africa fight battles. Even people who are from Africa who live in America right now fight battles. You can't run from your battle. That's for you to complete, you know. So if you never complete that mission, you will forever fight it. And I don't want to live. I don't want to live a life where I'm fighting every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you are going to fight, at least let me fight within my purpose. Let me fight within something I believe in and not be fighting against myself because
Yes.
I'm running. I'm running away from something. No, I love that. I think that's great, man. I think it's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your philosophy of life? I know that's a huge broad stroke question, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway, and you feel compelled to answer it as you see fit. What's your philosophy of life? It's a two-part, and how does that philosophy inform your professional, personal, and spiritual life? And you've already kind of touched around this question, but indulge us, and if you want to answer it a different way, feel free to do so.
My philosophy in life.
And how does it, we'll start there. What's your philosophy in life? And then we'll get to the second part of
So my major overall opinion with anything in life is, you ready? You ready for that? I can tell.
that.
It's
See,
my
we
one of my favorite. Well, and it's my favorite scripture too. In all things, get an understanding. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about being right and wrong. Life is not about being right nor wrong. It's about an understanding. And I remember I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I was watching the news. I don't really watch the news that much, but when we was coming up, my great grandmother lived with us, and there was a lady on the news that had drowned her kids. She had like 3 or 4 kids. She had drowned them, and she said, "God told me to." That was her. That was her exact reason why she did it. I don't know why. I was like, I can't judge her. Like I don't. I try my hardest, even to this day, not to judge. I may make a joke toward people, but I don't like. I really don't try to judge anybody. Like, because if I never have an understanding, now I'm only talking from an area of right and wrong. And if I'm talking from an area right and wrong, that's putting me right back in the neighborhood of the kids who holding guns at each other head. So in all things in life, I try my hard. It's not even a try no more. That I just have to get an understanding as to why. I'm not scientifically. I'm talking about me personally. I have to get an understanding. Like if I went to a prison right now, my biggest thing is I really do want to go to. I went when I was little, but I want to go to Angola State Prison now. I want to go there and talk to people now, see people, hear their story, because people have a reason. Like a lot of people, especially if you look at Netflix now, they love calling people criminals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's a guy that went to level 1. Nobody knew this. He was Texas' most dangerous man in the world.
Wow.
They labeled him as the deadliest man in Texas.
Wow.
He just got married, got his book out. He's not dangerous. If you don't understand somebody, you're gonna forever judge them and accuse them of stuff that, now that they've grown past that mentality, now that they're a year ahead of you, 2 years ahead of you, you're trying to catch up. All you can do is read about the stuff they've already done, and now you're developing opinion. You didn't grow up with them. Like Drake said, you won't with me shooting in the jail. I mean, Ross said it, and then Drake doubled back and said it. I'm saying you wasn't with him shooting in the gym, so you don't know. So when he got out of prison and came to level 1, I was one of the first people he connected with.
Wow.
And to hear that, I mean, to hear his brother talk, it was unreal.
Wow.
Unreal. Very smart, very educated. And I think he was in for like 17 or 20 years.
Wow.
But you could never tell. You will
You
never tell.
What's so beautiful about that, man, it's that's the elixir, that's the alchemy, that's the ability to take our narratives back. I released a book last year, and the title is Almost Doesn't Count or Does It? But the focus of the book is snatching your narrative back. And I know it's been a trendy term, but that means so much to me because many of us have been either one decision away or we just have not got caught from being in somebody's prison. Many of
Yeah.
us. And the beauty about self-empowerment, if you, God, whatever is a part of your journey to get yourself out, up, and optimized, let it be so. But it's being able to understand, once again, nobody has the ability to tell my story like I can tell my story.
Exactly.
I learned the magic of telling my story with empowerment. You can't say nothing to me. There's no
At
curse.
all.
There's no anything that you can say to me that's going to have me to conform my story to what, I don't care how large the media is. And I love, I don't know that, brother, but I love them already.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what news media, what jury, prosecutor, what church organization, whoever has something to say against me. That brother stood up and said, I'm going to stand over my story and not let anybody else tell me who I am or who they think I should be. That's awesome. That's
I'm
awesome.
telling you, I was like, when I met him, I was in wow, man. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, man. Because one day I was joking with him. I was like, all right. Now I say, look, I be messing. I was like, look, I did fit. I never been in jail for my life, but I was like, I did failure time. I'll mess with him. He's like, I bust stop playing. And so he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm gonna tell you one day. He's like, man, I feel like I should tell you. And I met him right before my brother got his sentence. So you know how your life is not for you, it's actually for somebody else, to keep hope through somebody else and keep faith to somebody else. So when I met him, I was like, man, stop playing. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, let me call my brother and tell him, hey, don't lose your mind, that man, God got you.
Yeah.
So it's just different. Every person, every being has a meaning. Like every one of them.
Wow. Wow. Okay. As of 2022 comes to an end, what have you found to be the most memorable and why? You may have just shared that, but I'm still gonna throw it back at you and let you answer it. Tell your story.
My most memorable 2022. Making all my non-believers believers. They doubted me. They doubted me. And in a moment, in the midst of a lot of stuff, we can easily accept the mindset and the mentality of, oh, this is what I gotta be now. This is what I gotta do now. This is, what I'm saying. But if I wake up every single day and, sometimes, this was a while ago, I would not get mad at myself. I'd be like, dang, Solomon, you did it again. Meaning that after I had my wreck, I never went back to make myself live in the area of, all right, you just had a wreck, man, you got to slow down in life. So for a few years, even now, nobody ever see me in a wheelchair. They only see me for moving. So sometimes it taxes me, because when they expect something fast or quicker or whatever, I gotta slow down. Like, look, hold on. Look, but then I have to catch myself, like, wait a minute, you created this.
Yeah.
You made them believe in people that were in wheelchairs, they can do everything. So now that they hold it over everybody else, you created this. So don't back off the gas now. That's your accountability. So even before my wreck, I never sat still. I never sat down. I can't remember a time when I was just like relaxed out, spaced out, like, just chilling. I call my life chill naturally, because anytime somebody like, oh, what you got going on? I'm just chilling, because I think that's how it's just chill. Like if I can just relax and respond to every moment, it will be chill, So people may say I move fast. People may say I move slow. People may say I take my time, whatever. That's their opinion. I've always moved forward. I've always moved. Always have. And so when I had my wreck, I never slowed down from the gym, never slowed down from any of that. And today, Slim them gave me a lot, because they're like, man, let me call the old Solomon. I remember who he used to be. Let me call him back. So they get me with that. And I'm like, oh, okay, y'all got games to play now. Okay, pressure is on. So yeah. And you always gotta have people around you that never visually see your circumstance. Not saying it's even a circumstance, that I'm just using a worldly term. You gotta have people around you that see you for what you need to be.
There you go.
Because if I need to be, if they see if they see my family, my biggest thing is I got 6 sisters. There's a lot of ladies in my life, a lot. My dad passed away, and I feel like I need to buy them all everything they need.
Yeah. Wow.
And I don't love money enough to say that, oh, you know what, let me go for the next. No, no, no. My life has already made it. I'm just trying to catch up with it. So by the time I catch up with who I am, I mean, there's nothing but money behind it, but I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it to show them that, hey, look, we still in this together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I never let them down. I never let a situation or circumstance slow me down. I believe in myself enough to where won't nobody push me out of my bubble as to, oh, you need to start doing this. You need to start doing that. Because if it's not spoken to me out of love, which is what 2022 taught me, if it's not spoken to me out of love, I never respond to it. I'll hear you all day long, but I never respond to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got it. You picked it up. You.
Yo, if I ain't no organizer, let's go.
That's exactly what I felt.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You know, man, I told you this a few times over these, and firstly, it's taken us a few months to get to this moment. So I'm very, very, very happy that we got to the moment. But I also understood that, okay, this is the 23rd episode, and we're going to 2023. Numbers are a big part of some of the things.
Wow, I didn't even realize that. Wow. This is the 23rd episode. We're going into 2023. Wow. That's major. That's major. Just call me Jordan. Call me Jordan. Just call me Jordan. I'm coming through. I'm dropping 63 tonight.
Jordan is dropping. Now we call you Solomon. King Solomon, man.
There we go.
The Lord is the warden, and he's setting people free. The Lord is the warden, and he's setting people free. Listen,
daily.
It's so incredible because I knew it. I told you. I said, man, I don't know when we're gonna do the interview, but I know we're supposed to connect in this way, and I know we're supposed to do this interview, and I'm so glad that we have done. And it's even who you are. You can see the wheelchair. You know that there's a story, but it's your energy. It's been your ability to just send out those bullets.
Yeah.
With focus, and it be when something in someone's lifestyle, when it's one, consistent, and then two, when you're discerning of people and you're discerning of what we call authenticity and these kind of things. We're people that's very sensitive to those kind of things. And it's no different. I shared this with my last person I interviewed, Dr. Robinson. When you say hello, I love to say hello to people because it's like, dolphins or whales, when they send out that signal and they get that feedback, you can discern where you are. You can discern your surroundings. Okay, there's got to be a rock over there because this feedback came out. It was pretty faint, or this one didn't come back, so it must mean there's nothing there. That's the equivalent of a good morning to me. Or when I speak to someone, that's my signal being sent out. I'm trying to determine how to read the room, how to read what's in my surrounding, so I can better equip myself and better show up however I need to do that. And man, every time you sent back such amazing energy and no pressure. I don't think that anybody has to feel pressure to wake up and be phony and happy every day necessarily. But we have the power to choose how we want to show up. And I've seen that with you from the time I've watched you with other people, or I've said, hello to you, good morning. There's always that sense of connection, man. And so I just want to say that about you. And it was a point I was going to drive home with that, but I'm glad that you've been able to answer what you did. Okay, what do you forecast for 2023?
23 forecast. Oh. I'm going to do all things in Christ that strengthens me. There's one of no, but my 2023 forecast is It's hard to say because it is. I'm on a mission. And the mission may not end in 2023. It may end in 2025. So the mission for next year is to hold myself more accountable. The mission for 2023 is to dominate the things I've already locked into. My mission for 2023 is to also reflect on the past, but not live in it. So my forecast is going to be is continuous progression for 2023, and always have a turnover rate of my production rate to always be up, never in the negative, never spend and never spend a time losing. And by losing, I mean like sometimes we don't know how to grow and still attend things. You know how people say, well, I'm getting ready for a revival, so I need to, lock in on studying the Bible. This is just an open example. So
Sure.
they stop coming to like normal things that we're going to. They stop attending the gym. They stop attending those things. When in reality, God could be using that to bless you. They could, like we can't make God change direction. So if we just do what we need to do, like to whom much is given, much is required. If 2023 God wants me to be a billionaire within the year, if He wants me to be a billionaire within the year, I'm not going to think that tomorrow morning He's not going to allow it to happen. But He'll only allow it to happen if I continuously do the things that I've been doing and get great at it.
Wonderful.
So in that sense, it's just be better than I was yesterday and weaker than I will be tomorrow in this moment.
Awesome. A man with the plan.
I'm telling you, we'll knock it out the park.
And I don't know how much you study numerology or anything like that, but next year it's a 7 is represented for next year, which one of the things that a 7 represents is deep reflection. And so it's interesting that you would say that this coming year, you're really going to be reflective about, what's taking place. So you're right in line with that. What does it mean to heal?
I didn't even know it was the year of the 7. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let me see here. Okay. I'll ask it still. What does it mean to heal and optimize, and why? What does it mean to heal and
to me, heal and optimize is to overcome. You know how earlier I was saying, like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I made it through this, I made it through that. To make it through and to overcome is two different things. To make it through something means you just survived it till you made it to the end, just like a drought. Yeah. But to overcome it means that you don't allow this to be your permanent situation. You can overcome it and turn around and go back through it again and become strong on the other side. Then go through it. No matter how many times you go through it, you're gonna overcome it. So to heal, for one, is to close up, and to optimize would be made it through. And you can use those moments to just continuously go back and forth. Each one teach one. Now I see the kids finna get ready to go through the same thing I went through. I'm already healed from it. Let me optimize myself, and boom, like on your cell phone, when it says optimize energy, that means like taking a cumulative area and use it all like at moments to make the phone perform better. So if I see kids getting ready to come through something, I should be able to, optimize myself and allow it to me to give all of them equal amounts of energy to reserve, not only reserve my spirit, but to strengthen my spirit and give back. Strengthen me, give back. Strengthen me, give back. So yeah.
Awesome sauce, man. I don't know if you know this, but H2O is an acronym for my company that stands for Healing to Optimization. So that's why so There you go, man.
Man, that's crazy.
Headline that slot of yours, and then be like, "This is what H2O is about." Listen to King Solomon. Yeah, that's what
wild. I
it's
didn't even know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's wild.
Where can people find you, such as social networks, booking appointments, etc.?
I'm about telling the truth. You can find me in these streets. No, but look. I really want to do that though. I really want to do that. Create a mission that's called "Find Me in These Streets," because I want to talk to all the little young kids. So when I say I'm in these streets, that's what I really want to be talking about.
Awesome.
But they can find me at Boss Mentality 318 on Instagram. BOSS_mentality_318 because I'm from Louisiana. You can book me there. You can DM me. You can do all of that right there as far as social media. You can find me on Facebook at Solomon Ward and on Twitter at Boss Mentality 318.
And what's your IG again?
Boss, BOSS_mentality_318.
And I'll post this information. I'm actually going to get you, if you didn't already send it to me, I'll post it into the description on YouTube so that it'll be right there in the video description. People can access it. But I'll make sure that whenever I put the flyers together to promote this video, I'll tag you in it. And that way you can share with whoever you want to share with as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Final words from the King, Solomon himself. Final words, brother.
Yeah. Episode one.
Yes, sir.
You say, so if I couldn't say one word, I just wave my hand. So no matter what you do in life,
yes,
no matter
sir.
what you do, you can always give. Even if you don't have arms, legs, hands, you can't speak, you can't see, you can always do something that means love, no matter what it is, no matter what it is. Wake up on a daily basis and choose love. Choose to be different. Choose to be better. Push yourself. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself, and don't let nothing else stop you from who you want to become.
Love it.
Meaning, don't let nothing else stop. Don't let nothing else stop you from right now, this moment right here. Don't let nothing else stop you from who you want to become.
Right now.
Right now, this moment.
God dang it, this moment right now. Let it go.
This moment. This
is your moment of breakthrough. Let it go.
I'm telling you. There.
Oh my gosh, man. I have enjoyed myself for these last 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
This is the longest interview that I've had for the year. And so this has been a great way to end this year. Again, I don't know how many people be watching my podcast. I get a few. I got a faithful cousin of mine, a great cousin of mine out of Austin, Texas, who makes it her point to watch my videos. She has her own podcast and things like that. And we spoke a few days ago. And that lit me up, man. I mean, she just really encouraged me and spoke into my life. And it blessed me. Just to, I guess, do some kind of palavering. My background is actually in communications. My undergrad is in broadcast journalism, and my master's is in mass communication. So doing news and radio and things like that, I've been doing it since my college years. And it's so strange because I never saw myself going in that direction. I was a music major first, so
wow, nice.
All those kind of things. I played football during my college years, and I was given an ultimatum to say, okay, either you're going to continue with football or you're going to continue with music because the schedule's only going to get more rigorous. And football was paying my way, so it was a no-brainer for me that I was going to have to let music go. My minor is in music, but I ended up going to what I thought was going to be an easier load, so to speak, and just found that God has a way of arranging our footsteps. and did not know how intricate, how intricate of a piece that background would play into what I do now, man. So
Yeah.
to do this is really out of a heart of passion. I don't get paid necessarily to have podcasts and things like that, but it's just been a mission that the Spirit would drop into my lap over these years, where I create the conversations and get people involved and interview people like yourself to just shine and do what you do. And I'm truly humbled and excited about this episode in particular, and just bringing this year to a close, and excited to see what's going to happen in this next coming year, and excited to see the things that are going to unfold in your life, man. You're a blessing. Keep doing what you do. Keep being who you are. I know that you're going to accomplish everything that you set forth to do. And I decree that every vision, every plan that serves greater, that it's going to manifest and it's going to come to pass. And every need will be met above and beyond what you can think and what you can imagine. And I will definitely be using your gift on different events that I have coming up in 2023, because as you have pronounced, you are moving towards being a motivational speaker. I will be having events where we can utilize your gift and really platform what you do to just be who you are, just the way that you are, and share that with as many people who'll be willing to listen, man. And beyond that, I know that you're going to have more opportunities to do just this, because the time is changing for you to be able to do that. And so I'm excited for you, man. And I believe in you, and I believe in the gift that God has blessed you with, and the many more gifts that are going to unfold and be visible to you. So much love to you, man. Have a fantastic Christmas holiday. I'm going to end the recording and just say a few kind words and let you get about your way, because I know we've definitely kept some time.
Yeah. So all I'm gonna say is, just keep driving. That's it. One foot in front of the other, never backwards. Keep driving, keep pushing. We're gonna get there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm ending now. No, I don't want to end them, man. I just want to stop recording. How do I do that? Come on back up. There we go.